Representative, it's good to see you again here. Now you have Australia, Denmark, Norway, all have instituted some sort of ban for 15, 16-year-olds and under here. Ireland and Spain are considering it. Texas, though, has twice turned it down. Why do you think momentum is now shifting on this issue, at least internationally?
Well, Jason, first off, thank you for having me. And secondly, we have made progress on this issue here in the state of Texas. We filed a bill in 2023, but in 2025, we got the bill through the House, through a Senate committee, and it just ran out of time before it was called up for a vote. Look, I think people are starting to realize now more than ever that our kids are killing themselves at a clip that we've never seen before in history. That social media is a dangerous product for them to have access to. In fact, I think it's the most dangerous product that kids have legal access to in Texas. And I think that folks are starting to rise up and do something about it. And I'm hopeful that Texas is the next group to do that.
How do you get your fellow Republicans, though, on board with this to make it a priority so it doesn't die in a Senate committee when the time runs out?
Yeah, look, there was broad bipartisan support for this bill last session.
I
It passed
remember, yeah.
116 yeses to 25 noes in the House. Lots of Republicans supported this bill. But I think, more than anything, I think with any of these pieces of legislation, it just takes time and education. And that's on me as the author and someone that has pushed this item now for 4 years to just get out there and do my work to educate members about the harms, the dangers of social media. Jason, back in 1998, there were 3,000 cases of child sexual abuse material online, 3,000 in 1998. By 2021, it's gone from 3,000 to 150 million. And that's just the sexually explicit material related to children. I mean, there's all sorts of bad things out there on these social media platforms, and we've got to shut it down, at least for the kids.
We have more than a year until the next legislative session, but what will you be watching for as far as feedback goes in these other countries that might lead to you refining your bill?
Well, one of the things I think that we're going to change is, we started and got through the Texas House and through a Senate committee last session, a bill that would have, basically prohibited any minor under the age of 18 from being on social media. And I think like Australia, we're going to come back next session and move that age down to 16. I think that was some feedback that we got from some parents and from others, kind of talking about the ages and using the last couple of years of high school to kind of get familiar with it. But regardless, I think that it's something that we've got to do. Again, I think it's the most harmful product that our kids have access to legally in Texas. And I think the statistics back me up. Jason, 21% of high schoolers in Texas have seriously considered harming themselves or committing suicide. 21%, that's better than 1 in 5, Jason. That is a big, big deal. That's something that we got to take seriously. And I think that if you look at it, there is a direct link there with us usage of social media.
And then enforcing it is always a question that I've asked, and I know your colleagues have asked too. How in the world do you enforce something like this? Because it's not like keeping teenagers from going down to the local 7-Eleven and buying beer.
Jason, that's a great question. We've had a lot of success and made it all the way through the courts to the Supreme Court on age verification related to pornography websites in Texas, which is essentially shut down the top pornography websites globally here in the state of Texas. And the courts have deemed that age verification is a viable solution there. There's really not a lot of difference with X or Snapchat or Instagram or a lot of these other sites that have sexually explicit content on them that are being pushed onto our kids because that is what gets their engagement up. And so age verification is the root of how this thing will be successful. And the courts have shown us that they're willing to accept that as well. And so I'm excited for that to be a major part of this legislation moving forward.
And is one of the reasons you're trying to lower the age from 18 down to 16, is that to give those 2 years to these student athletes or other students who might use social media in order to get the attention of colleges?
Yeah, look, if it was King Jared for the day, we would make it under 18. Shoot, we might ban everybody from social media. It might make the whole world a better place. But, look, there's 150 House members. There's 31 senators. We have a governor that can veto a bill. And so I think what we're trying to do is get the best possible legislation across the finish line that will help the most people. And then, obviously we would reserve the right to go back and make further adjustments later. But I think that 16 is a negotiated age that makes some sense in some cases. And so that's what I'm willing to push next session.
Representative, good to see you.
Thank you, sir.